Hello everyone, kicking off our series talking to people in the travel industry and how they've been impacted by COVID is Kaye Holland. Now I met Kaye, met on the telephone actually, or Twitter first, a couple of years ago actually, and
The modern way.
Pardon?
The modern way.
Modern way. And then we had a chat on the phone and Kaye interviewed me for a show that she was doing on women's radio about travel and adventurous travel with families. And then we've kept in touch, haven't we, on Twitter ever since. And one of the reasons I was speaking to Kaye actually, because I want to help people in the travel industry who've helped me. It's about paying it forward, I guess. Was that Kaye actually put me forward for the Telegraph Travel Pioneer of the Year award last year, which was a huge surprise. So thank you so much for that. And we've never spoken face to face until today. So it's lovely to be chatting to you. So I just wanted to talk about what Kaye does and how we can actually help Kaye, because Kaye is a travel writer and is a very busy lady, has written for so many different publications, Travel and Leisure, Sunday Times, Telegraph, Insider, China Morning Post. I mean, your list is huge, isn't it? It's your thing, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's been my passion and my work for as long as I can remember. But like you, anyone in the travel industry, it's tough times at the moment. It's very tough times. So, I mean, as you mentioned, we connected last year because you went on and won the Telegraph Travelling Pioneer Woman Award. I was actually due, I mean, this is one of the ironies, I was due to go back and start an in-house job at the Telegraph in April on the travel desk. So again, it's just one of those things, what can you do? You just don't know whether to laugh or cry sometimes. I've accepted the offer back in January, all due to start in April, tentatively called them up at the beginning of March, just feeling a bit, had spoken to a few doctor friends, felt a bit, oh goodness, this coronavirus could come here and be mental, and they were warning me it will impact the travel industry. And of course, nobody knew, did they, back in March, at the beginning of March? No, it's fine, keep going, hand in your notices, we'll see you in April. And then it all just exploded. So what to do? And
so what would a typical working month look like for you? Because you did travel a lot as well. Obviously, you were traveling whilst you were writing and submitting your articles. So it's obviously impacted hugely on what your normal day-to-day life was like.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously I was going to go back in-house, so I probably wouldn't have been travelling as much. The kind of upsetting bit for me was because I'd had to hand in my notices in order to meet the in-house start date. I lost a lot of work anyway. But now, yeah, it's complete change for me. I think towards the end of last year as a freelancer, I was on a cruise, I was in Serbia, I was in Montenegro, I was in Jamaica, and now, Valencia, I managed to squeeze in at the beginning of this year, and now my wings have been clipped, I'm grounded. It's very odd, and of course, you know, I'm sitting here talking to you in a 4th floor flat on my own. It's just one extreme to the other, from running around the world to being confined to a tiny Brixton, South London flat. But it's been, I mean, in terms of work, I've just had to, I guess, think outside the wheel. I've had to come to terms with, there is no travel journalism work at the moment. It's hard to write articles about wonderful overseas destinations when goodness knows when we're going to be traveling. And I did a lot of cruise for the Telegraph, and that's probably going to be one of the last sectors in travel to recover. And travel itself will take a long time to recover. So I also was doing tour guiding, leading tourists on walking tours around London, and Airbnb hosts. So I've just had to come to terms that is all going to be on hold for a long time. And to be honest, I've just had to go into, I'm sure like a lot of your community, go into survival mode, not worry about the things I'm passionate about or career jobs, so to speak. This is a pandemic. We don't know how long it will go on for. I've just had to basically pay the bills. So I've just taken on whatever work I can find at the moment. So I'm obviously still trying to develop my tour guiding knowledge in free time and try to do travel bits when I can. But I'm doing the most random work. I'm doing a lot of tutoring because with schools shut, there is a demand for online learning. So I've kind of managed to use a lot of the skills I've got and turn that into online teaching. And other work I'm doing is just totally random. I found myself doing moderation work.
Really?
moderating Daily Mail readers' comments. So literally, probably like so many people, just whatever you can do to survive at this point.
It's about putting yourself out there, isn't it? And actually, like you say, think outside the box and diversify, and then almost go back to the skill set you had a long time before you were following your passion, and dip back into it, and then work out
exactly.
online. Actually,
I really call it survival work because I've very much fallen through all the government corona financial safety net. I was newly self-employed, so I don't qualify for any the self-employed package. And obviously I hadn't started the Telegraph job, so I couldn't be furloughed. And I'd handed in my notices, so I couldn't get any support from them. So I'm sure, there's loads of people that have one way or the other fallen through the crack, or people that should be eligible for universal credit. I'm finding out from having interviewed people recently that have been, victims of the corona crisis. They had a flat deposit, so they're expected to live off that. Or there's so many people that have fallen through the cracks. It's really just about rolling up your sleeves and doing what you can. I
like your attitude. Positive, can-do attitude means a lot, doesn't it? And also it's quite magnetic. Yeah. People are attracted to that.
I think you attract you put out positivity, hopefully you attract it. And what else can we do? You've got to stay positive.
So, I mean, do you think there are any positives that you can glean from this time? Has it made you think about things differently or appreciate what you had before in sort of more magnified way?
Yeah, I think I really appreciate what I had before. I've just really realised how lucky I am to have travelled so far, so widely. I lived, as well as travelling, I actually was an expat and lived in all these different places, China, although China isn't particularly popular at the moment, but China, Argentina, the Middle East, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. I lived in all these countries for so long, and it's just made me really appreciate all these experiences that I just blasé, just did it. And, now you realise we're all trapped at home and quarantined. It makes me realise that. And I suppose also, you're right, it has made me think about how I will work in the future. I think it's made me aware I probably wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket, so to speak, again. I would probably try and diversify my income so everything can't be ripped out under the carpet from you. And, I think it's made us evaluate the gift of time. We all, particularly, you're kind of on the outskirts of London. We Londoners, anyone that lives in a city, or anyone modern life really, we rush around like headless chickens. And now I sometimes think of like what I packed into a day. It's not sustainable. And I think in a way, COVID-19 is kind of a wake-up call to us all, like just to slow down a bit. You can see the pollution's cleared, the skies are blue. It is a kind of wake-up call that we have to think about how we treat the planet and how we treat ourselves as well, perhaps.
I know what you mean. I mean, I was working part-time, with Salam, but I was going into London during the week, and I'd feel like I'd have the school drop at 7:30 to then catch the first train in, and you do feel like you're rushing around. And now it's quite a nice just to slow down.
You always perhaps feel like you're slightly on edge. It's rush here, rush there, make that thing. And I think you work sometimes from home, don't you?
Most of the time, really, yeah.
And I think, for a lot of employers, they'll be rethinking the traditional offices. There's always been there's been a push for flexible working in recent years, and Mother Pucker has obviously been at the forefront of that, the lifestyle blogger. But so many companies have been just still adverse to it. And I think we're kind of proving now, hey, you know what, we can work from home. We're not all sitting in our pajamas. We are as effective. And for offices, obviously, must be fantastic. They could reduce rents, everything. So I think they'll be more open to people's requests, especially parents and who need to juggle childcare, or if their child's sick, take work from home that day. I think they'll be more receptive to that. I hope anyway.
Oh, I definitely think so. So let's move on to how we can help you, because this is what I want to really put out to our community is, what can we do? What is there something that we can put forward to them that we can share and get behind you, really?
Well, I hope so. So one of the things, as you said, it's really been about the coronavirus. If you've been thrown lemons, trying to make lemonade out of it. So, I mean, I've told you my story, how my freelance work got dried up, how this kind of dream in-house job on a national paper was offered, is signed and got pulled up, torn up. So I actually applied, you may have heard of it, Women of the City.
Oh, no, I haven't.
It's a new magazine and a women's kind of support network for business women. And they were offering £500 digital community checks for people, I guess, like me or anyone that's been affected, just to help them get back on
Yes, I did see this because
to help them get back on their feet. So I applied, and I wasn't really expecting anything to happen. You know, my luck hasn't been going my way, and I just thought, oh, I'll try it, but didn't expect anything. I got shortlisted. I thought, oh, that's good. Still didn't expect it. Then out the blue, got a call that they've awarded me a £500 check, which I've had to match, but it's still, you know, incredible. They've paired me up with an agency. And so what I've decided to do is, we're talking about how you can market your skills and just reframe your working life. So I'm going to use all my skills in writing and launch a copywriting company.
Oh.
So copywriting, I mean, I said that to my mum and she was like, oh, wonderful. And then 10 minutes into the conversation, she said, what's copywriting? So what is copywriting? It's a content provider. You know, I specialize in words. If anybody needs words, you could be a restaurateur, you could be a small business owner, a hairdresser who's got time on their hands, but, you know, doesn't know how to reframe their website. Maybe you just can't be bothered. Maybe you want to be time, or, you know, you don't know how to, different skill sets. If you need words for anything, that's where I come on. So I've teamed up with an ex-boss of mine at the Telegraph, Teresa Machin. She was the cruise editor for about 10 years, I think, also been a victim of the corona crisis. She's written for anyone and everyone, all across the board. We've done charities, hotels, tourism boards, we've edited books. So words are our passion. So if anybody needs words, it might be that you're just trying to refute a parking claim, and it might be that you need to put out an impressive covering letter for a job. Anything. If you're stuck for words, we have them. And what newsletters, exactly. It could be that you have a message, whether you're opening for takeaways. It could be newsletters. It could be any word, an advert, website, any words whatsoever. And so what we'd like to offer your community is a free, complimentary 30-minute consultation call. So you could tell us what you need. We can recommend. It could be that your tone of voice, you know, branding, anything. And then we would offer, to start with, if you did want some words produced, we'd offer 50% off throughout the month of June. So it could be anything, absolutely anything. An advert. We've recently been doing new business letters from small business owners who are aware the market's changed. They need to pitch for work. They've got the great product, but they've phoned us up and just said, oh, we don't know how to phrase this tastefully, because you can't just, in this climate, hey, I need your work, had to be phrased. So yeah, anyone that needs words, we know how to tell a good story. We've been doing it all our working lives. So get in touch.
And what a fabulous offer. And also it works for any business, anywhere.
Absolutely.
Like, we're so used to talking on Zoom.
Between us, we've covered everything from retail to tech to tourism to education, careers. So there's nothing. And you know what, also, we're offering these complimentary half-an-hour calls. If we don't know someone that could help you, if we can't do it ourselves, we know between us with our contacts someone who could help your area.
That's amazing. So I'll put all the links when I publicise this, and I'll put it on the website so other people can see it, and then put it out on social media. And I really hope everybody in the community, if you're watching this, that you can help Kaye, and maybe if you've got friends who aren't in the community, you can share it with them, because I think we can keep it open, can't we? The more people that can help you, the better, really.
The more the merrier. And as you say, I think in this time, it's very much about collaborating. Let's all come together and help each other wherever, whenever we can.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me today. And
thanks for having me.
We will follow up with you and hopefully find out some success stories off the back of this interview. So that'd be fabulous.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, Susanna. And keep up the great work with our Tribe Travels.
Thank you so much.